Hello everyone, welcome to week 15. We are coming to the end here of the class. You guys have been doing phenomenal in here. We just wrapped up week 14 with the topic of transition to adulthood. So I was able to go through and read everyone's discussions, and everyone really talked a lot about just that importance of early parental care and peer competence and other relationships, and how those are really solid indicators of future emotional health. That was kind of something that was brought up consistently in everyone's discussions. Some other kind of points that were brought up a lot by you guys. One of them was just the importance of children really developing a sense of personal responsibility. And just how it's so important for young children and young people to understand that they're really in charge of their own choices and their own paths in life. And how it's important to develop that capacity to really set and achieve goals. And this really helps them develop that personal responsibility. So it's just very important to, as educators, really help children feel like they have a grasp on their own life choices and goals and achievements. And this will really help them develop that sense of personal responsibility. Another topic that was brought up a lot was that research study talking about relationships between high school dropouts and also the relationships that those students have with their teachers, and how many of the students who were dropping out weren't even able to name many of their teachers, whereas the students who were able to complete high school were able to name one or more of their teachers. So that study just really stressed that importance of students' relationships with their teachers and being able to identify a special teacher that has played an important role in their life. This can really help students graduate from high school. So I think many of you are teachers or work with teachers. And so I think that really kind of hit home for you, and a lot of you could think of a teacher that played an important role in your life. So that student-teacher relationship is very, very important for students as they transition to adulthood. Another section that a lot of you brought up a lot in your discussions was the section about disorganized attachment and how it is a predictor of hostility in interactions with partners. And how while couples do have conflict, kind of that attachment makes a difference in how they can actually resolve that conflict. So it really plays a role in those conflict resolution skills, and how you guys also talked about how in the lecture how conflict resolution, you can learn those skills from your parents and watching how your parents actually resolve conflicts. And how that can really, really impact students later in life. So that was something that you guys brought up quite a bit. Kind of one final topic that you guys talked about a lot too was just emotional health, and how it plays a really significant role in how we process information. Just how that importance of social emotional learning, and I think how sometimes it gets put on the side because schools are so focused on test scores, standardized tests, but it's really, really important that students build that emotional health as well, because it impacts areas like memory, attention, and learning. So a lot of you guys really thought that that was an interesting part of the lecture this last week. So the parent-child teams should have shown your cases, emailed your cases to the psychologist-teacher teams last Friday. So the psychologist-teacher teams have those cases. So now it's your guys' job as the school psychologist-teacher team to read through that case and then try to fill out that chart and kind of try to solve the problem. And if you are on that child-parent team and you have not yet filled out your chart, make sure you guys fill that out as well. And you guys are going to get those charts to me by May 6th. So that's Wednesday next week. And I will be comparing the two charts, so the child parent team and then the school psychologist teacher team charts, and seeing how closely matched they are. And again, I will be sharing with you guys the winners, hopefully by Friday, May 8th, and the winners should get a little something special. So hope you guys work really hard on those. I hope you enjoy doing them. I think they're really helpful. It's a great activity because it really helps us apply what we're learning to kind of a real world experience that many of you will have, especially if you are working in the schools. So make sure you guys get those into me. And then this week is going to look a little different. So you're working on those epic finales, and then you're also going to be working on your cultural heritage paper. And so there's a rubric in Canvas that kind of talks about the expectations for this paper, but just as a little bit of a summary. So it's a paper just describing your cultural heritage. So you're going to reflect on your cultural, ethnic, racial, gender, religious, spiritual, and socioeconomic experiences. And you're going to critically examine the impact of these factors on your values and your worldview, your counseling style, and how you might work with families at your school. And you want to really think about and identify areas that are personal biases for you that might actually impact your professional practice when you're working with these families who have very different cultural, religious, socioeconomic, racial backgrounds from you. And then after you've identified some of these biases, you want to think of 3 action steps that you could take to address these biases. So this will be due on May 1st. And it is about 3 to 4 paragraphs or so. So I'm really looking forward to reading these papers. I think they're great because it's a very important thing to think about before you guys get into the fields, because you're going to be working with such a diverse range of people. So it's really, really good to be aware of your own kind of biases, your own values, and how that might impact how you work with others. And it's good to kind of plan ahead and think about how you're going to really try to prevent those biases from getting in the way of working with people who are different from you. So if you have any questions about that paper or your guys' epic finale projects, feel free again to email me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Other than that, I hope everyone is continuing to stay safe, and I'm really looking forward to reading your papers and looking through your guys' projects. Have a great week, guys.